Firefighter Daniel Medrano has been patrolling the US-Mexico border for more than 20 years. He believes continuing to build the border wall is not the answer.
The wall doesn't work. Is it a deterrent? Does it slow people down? Yes, it does, most definitely. I am not for illegal immigration by any means, but there has to be a more viable solution.
His team is called out to rescue injured migrants on a regular basis. The wall has encouraged them to take more risks than ever before.
You can see this is probably about 20 feet, 25 feet in this area. It is thick, but there's an impression that people can shimmy down this wall, and you can't. If you look at the top, there's a small ledge, probably about 2 inches. That's where we find a lot of people who are afraid. You know, they'll come over the wall on that side, stop right there, and then usually they'll fall from that ledge, and suffer some pretty traumatic injuries.
And if it's not injuries, it's the extreme heat that can be fatal. So far this year, authorities have found the bodies of 148 migrants in the El Paso sector alone. That's double last year's numbers. The 700-kilometer wall has been the subject of much controversy. Donald Trump made it a campaign promise, while Joe Biden vowed to stop building it with limited success.
Just in front of me, this is where the wall ends.
The back and forth has led to a mind-boggling outcome.
So you see that dog just crossed over without a problem. The Mexican dog, yeah. This is the United States, that's Mexico right there. Anybody can just start walking their way and traversing up the mountain. Now, will I get caught? Probably, because there's a ton of Border Patrol agents here. We just don't see them.
For decades, one crisis has followed another with no improvement. Last year, a record 2 million people crossed the border illegally. The city of El Paso is one of the main gateways into the United States. Dozens of migrants, both legal and illegal, sleep on the streets every night. Most of them come from Latin America. According to one report, 50,000 Venezuelans entered the U.S. in September alone. Amaryllis arrived here a week ago with her 3 children, including her 15-year-old disabled son.
It was very intense. Crossing the jungle on foot was hard. My son is unable to walk, so my husband had to carry him on his back while we climbed rocks and crossed rivers.
It took them 3 months to make the journey. The family fled a disastrous economic and political situation.
I came here to work and to give my son a better future, and also for myself. I have a tumor in my eye, and I want to look at possible treatments.
Why come here illegally?
To come here legally, we would have needed passports. Getting those costs about $2,000, which is money we don't have. I don't even have that kind of money for my own children, let alone for passports or for plane tickets.
When intercepted by border police, migrants are then released and randomly assigned to different states with a court date. There are NGOs that help them understand the complexity of the American legal system. This woman has a court date in 8 months.
¿A dónde va a ir usted? A Denver. Dígale, es que quiero que me ayuden a cambiar mi cita, mi dirección para Denver. Mi dirección. Vayan y pregúntenles. Antes de moverse, porque si te vas a Denver y no regresas a esta cita, que tú ya la tienes aquí en El Paso, y nos van a buscar.
There's confusion here and fear too. These women haven't heard from their husbands who were detained 3 weeks ago.
So, ¿cuánto tiempo van a estar ahorita todavía aquí? Hasta que sea... ¿Y ustedes? ¿Sus esposos también están detenidos? ¿Tu esposo también lo detuvieron? El de ustedes también. Venían juntos y los separaron.
Many NGOs feel abandoned by the federal government. Fernando, a staunch Democrat, is very candid about his disappointment.
You can see the results of Biden's current immigration policy. This is and let's remember that Biden promised to revamp this whole system. He promised fair immigration reform. He promised to revamp the asylum system, to rebuild it, to do away with Trump's strategies. And after 3 years already, we don't see that happening.
Texas's conservative Governor Greg Abbott has reacted to the government's inaction by deploying the National Guard to the border and installing barbed wire on its border with New Mexico, ignoring principles of free movement between states. The goal is to prevent migrants from entering Texas from a state run by Democrats. This military response has so far had very few impacts.